I would like to reconvene the regular session. We do have new business. Consider response to closure of the Marketplace Family Foods. With that, can we have the staff report?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the agency. The Urban Renewal Agency entered into an agreement in 2014 to provide $500,000 of urban renewal funding for the renovation and creation of a grocery store in downtown. As part of that agreement, there were certain requirements for job creation and hours of operation. And there were provisions that with a certain number of employees, open hours, that the $500,000 would be forgiven based on $10,000 per year per full-time employee, up to $100,000 in any 1 year. Currently, $140,000 has been forgiven. There's a remaining $360,000 plus interest, and we received notice that the grocery store has closed, and we have been in conversation with the property owner about potentially terminating the agreement. In the executive session, the city attorney provided information to the agency and asked for guidance, which the agency has reached consensus on, which is appropriate in an executive session. And the intent would be for the agency to pass the suggested motion that is on your agency action form. Thank you.
Any questions for staff? Public comment.
I'll fill this out after I've had a comment. Steve Clements, I live in the Grande. A lot to say about this particular item. I am not privy to I'm not privy to anything that went on in the executive session, so I really don't know what that means. When I read the motion, I moved the city attorney prepare a letter to Mr. Adelsberg regarding the closure of Town Square Limited Partnership as discussed in the executive session. So I guess I don't know whether that means you're not going to terminate this agreement. I don't know, but I would say I would urge you not to terminate the agreement. You provided a firm agreement back in 2014. It was a solid contract. The city willingly and gladly worked with the company through some difficult times and amended that agreement. If I haven't seen the most recent agreement, but never in the agreement, those amendments, I think, did you talk about the penalty or changing the agreement from a loan to a grant? I think that's still intact. I strongly urge you to pursue the terms of the contract with the one caveat that get the $500,000 back. Don't worry about the penalties. It's a shame that business failed twice. I think it's indicative of the fact that was not a good location for a grocery store. In fact, the prior owner told me he tried to start a grocery store there and failed. And then they went ahead and bought the building to do the exact same thing. So I don't understand that. But you have an agreement. I think it's solid. I don't think that Mr. Adelsberger would ask to terminate it if he didn't think that it would hold up in court. So I urge you not to terminate the agreement.
Thank you, Steve.
Hello, Gary Lillard. Just wanted to stand up here and support what Steve had said about the agreement. Having been on the council myself during much of this, I kind of felt like the council twisted themselves into pretzels to accommodate the owners of this business. I mean, we wanted it to succeed. Didn't make any sense not to. I mean, we were providing a lot of money to make it happen. There was an agreement in place. As I say, we did a lot to try and make it work, to make it succeed. And it's unfortunate that it hasn't, but under the circumstances, I can't add too much more than what Steve's already said. I would just encourage you, whatever you need to do to recover some of that money, preferably the $500,000, whatever that involves. And again, as he says, I wasn't privy to anything in the executive session, obviously, so I don't know how you might go about some of this, but I certainly would support that course of action. I feel like it's kind of unfortunate I didn't get a chance to make public comment prior to the executive session because I presume you've already decided on some things, but just a point I wanted to make. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Gary. Any more public?
Brent Clapp. You're right, it's really weird to comment on something that we don't know we're commenting on. That is, this whole procedure is funky at best. So, but I will say that I've known Al for a long time, and I have been his tenant for the last 10 years or so. I often have found myself caught between him and you all as my good friends. I don't know the details of what's going on, but I want to speak to what I know is Al's heart and to what he has invested in this community. And we can look at the grocery store and, we can spend a lot of time talking about should it have been a grocery store or should it have been something else? Or, all of that is, whenever somebody gives me advice on my business, I look at them and I say, you do know that this is all I do all day long is try and figure out how to make it better. And I know that you all understand that, especially if you own an operation. It's a lot easy. It's a lot easier to second guess something when you're not on the ground and so on and so forth. The one thing I would say is that this end of La Grande has been drastically changed by that operation over the last 10 years. Because of the risk that the building owner put into revamping that building, there are several other things in downtown that have been revitalized because of Al's vision. And I think you could, that needs to be weighed. Now, I'm not saying that you should lose $500,000 or 300 and whatever thousand that is, And I don't know the ins and outs of that, but please do not discount and I know Al. That's all I need to say. I know Al. But I can tell you that he has made a difference in the life of this community. He's made a difference in the life of La Grande, and that is worth something. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public testimony? With that, agency discussion.
I'd like to say that from the very beginning, I didn't like the idea of this. I think I was on the budget committee at the time. But it went through, and that's what we were with. The goal of this urban renewal money is to get rid of blight. That was mission accomplished. The business failed, but it was there for a while, and we've got something out of that. We have lots of other examples of urban renewal dollars going in, and the original business did not succeed, but the building stayed, and the value stayed, and other businesses moved in, and it was good for the city. So just trying to keep all of that in mind. I think in our discussion, we've decided that we all feel like we need to be very good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. And that's where my decision lies, is what I think is the best for what our taxpayers have put into this. So that's where I'm at.
That is our tough job. We have to look at all sides and do what's best for the citizens and the taxpayers' money. We do get to see more information than everybody else sees. And so that's how we base our decision, is what is best for everybody. It might not be the most popular decision, which most of you know and made those decisions. But unfortunately, with what we have to do is what we think is best for everybody. And with that, does anybody else have any motion?
I move the city attorney prepare a letter to Mr. Adelsberger regarding the closure of the Town Square Limited Partnership Marketplace Family Foods Grocery Store as discussed in executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? No? All right. District manager comments.
I have nothing, thank you.
Agent member comments. Do we have anybody? With that, we are adjourned.
Did you sign anything?